So now we will see different 13 different NLP presuppositions. The 13 presuppositions are the central principles, central of NLP. They are its guiding philosophy, its beliefs. These principles are not claimed to be true or universal. You do not have to believe they are true. They are called presuppositions because you presuppose them to be true and then act as if they were. You then discover what happens. If you like the result, then continue to act as if they are true. They form a set of ethical principles for life. Now, these 13 presuppositions, just like we have seen 4 pillars. So, these are again some kind of assumption we will say. So, that may match with your presuppositions, your belief, or that may not match. Anything may be possible, and those presuppositions which work in your life best, you can actually make it as reality. It's again on totally depends on you, how you are choosing your presuppositions, and whichever suits you best. Among this 13, I can challenge you, definitely 1 2 or maximum more than 10 also may you may get agree with, because maximum time whatever kind of programming human brain has happened, a similar kind of environment each and everyone actually going to experience in their life at some moment of time. So sometimes something may not match, but many times it may get matched. So these are few presuppositions. You may take it as a reality or you may not. It's whole your choice. We are moving to the next. That is first, the map is not the territory. So people respond to their experience, not to reality itself. We do not know what reality is. Our senses, beliefs, and past experience give us a map of the world from which to operate. A map can never be exactly accurate, otherwise, it would be the same as the ground it covers. We do not know the territory, so for us, the map is the territory. Some maps are better than others for finding your way around. We navigate life like a ship through a dangerous area of sea. As long as the map shows the main hazards, we will be fine. When maps are faulty and do not show the dangers, then we are in the danger of running aground. NLP is the art of changing these maps so we have greater freedom of action. So we have already talked much about map is not the territory. Still, I would like to give one example to you. Now this is related to some kind of emotional intelligence and the exercise of triggers, how this trigger get installed. Now it may happen many of the time in your life that you behave at a certain situation in a certain way, because that is how now your brain get programmed. Now just take an example of some painful memories. Now painful memories, for example, someone has left the body at your home, very close to you, maybe one of your parent, and at that moment of time, when you were sitting at and everyone comes to that ceremony, or whatever kind of you may say the situation is, and everyone actually touches your right shoulder, and they give sympathy, and they try to actually sympathize you. And now everyone came in a certain way and touched the same area of your body, and they are trying to sympathize you. Now that memory get registered within your mind, that all the scenario, because that is what is very very painful moment of your life, and every time someone touching the same area of your body, every touch, every feeling actually making you again start those memories again and again running in your mind. Now this has happened, for example, this was the situation a few years back has happened in your life. Now you have overcome that pain. Now you have come out of it completely. But something, a very small situation happened, very small, it's not the kind of that much pain, but a very small. For example, your boss has said something to you, and you are not feeling good about that, so that's why you are sad. And someone from your colleague or your friend come to you, and he or she just touch your shoulder in the same way. Now the moment you got that touch, all those painful memory come in your mind, and you may start crying at that moment of time. You may overreact, you may actually go into more pain. Actually that might not be the situation, but what has happened, because of that touch all those memory got refreshed in your subconscious mind. You are actually consciously not aware of that, but that was the trigger. And because of that trigger, though the reason was very small, the situation was not that much powerful, but still that much pain is getting created within yourself, because that touch of sympathy is connected, having direct connection with those painful memories. And these all kind of memories, actually this is what is called as trigger in emotional intelligence. So such thing happens, means many, like this is what is a painful memory example I have given you. Another example I will give you, which is a very sweet memory example. Now it may happen, you might have experienced sometime. You are suppose going onto road, and from your beside car, on the signal you might have heard some beautiful song, and that song may have some kind of relation with some kind of sweet memories in your life. You just went away, you just listen that song, and it may happen you went away within that memory, all kind of that memory get refreshed, because that memory was stored along with that particular song. Now this is how our memories got registered within our mind, and when the trigger pop up, at that trigger all the memories get refreshed. We actually go to that folder, and we got open, our subconscious open with that folder, and we got the same feelings. What kind of feelings? And our subconscious don't know the reality, actually what is going on, whatever for subconscious everything is present. He don't understand the past, he don't understand the future. For subconscious everything is present tense only. So even though you are in the back memories, you are in the sweet memories, you are in the painful memories, for subconscious that is the only reality. I think map is the territory might be very very clear to all of you now. Moving to the next. Having choice is better than not having choice. Always try to have a map for yourself that gives you the widest and the richest number of choices. Act always to increase choice. The more choices you have, the freer you are, and the more influence you have. Of course, we have already talked about it. कि if you will not consider any choice, okay, अब ख़त्म हो गया, मैं fail हो गया, अब कुछ नहीं हो सकता. Just like many people at their board exam or their some university exam, and if they are having many people might have uh, he or she might have some peer pressure that he needs to achieve this much, he needs to achieve that much, and based on that percentage some career is depend on. So in that case, if they can't achieve what they rather than facing that failure, they think this failure is everything for them, and they stop their life, they go to the suicide or any another kind of way. Actually that way is not feasible for them. Now what has happened, because of that small thing happened in their life, they just close all the different choices they may have, and that is how they just stuck within that moment of their life, and because of that they may not get progress in their life. And if obviously if suicide and anything such kind of decision happen, in that case so nothing can go away, go ahead. So this is what is the best thing what we can do is we always need to choose. Choices are always there. Actually I will tell you, this is what is the magic happen, wherein this is actually opportunity. Whenever some thing we are losing, at the same moment of time if one door get closed, simultaneously universe open uh, 5 to 10 doors for us. But what has happened many of the time, actually we looked only at the closed door and we are unable to see that open door, and that is how we just lose what we may get achieve in our life. So always see for the opportunities, see for the different choices, because you need to achieve more through different choices. So this is all about having choices better than not having choice. Moving to the next, people make the best choice they can at the time. A person always makes the best choice they can. Given their maps of the world, the choice may be self-defeating, bizarre or evil, but for them it seems the best way forward. Give them a better choice in their map of the world and they will take it. Even better, give them a superior map with more choices in it. Now गीता में क्या कहा है कि जो होता है अच्छे के लिए होता है, जो हो रहा है वो अच्छे के लिए हो रहा है, जो हो चुका है वो भी अच्छे के लिए हुआ है. तो what it means is, even in case of our life, generally what happens, whatever choice we are making for ourselves, we are choosing to do certain things in certain way, and that what we think is it's always right. This always be, even we didn't think this thing can be done with the different way, different method. We even can't think of that, because that is what is the best choice for us, and this is how we think ki this can be done. Now even I can able to see many housewife ladies, those who are actually working at their house and very good in cooking and all. I heard many of the time the certain dish, if you want to make the recipe, they are having certain style of doing it, and if someone is doing in some certain different way, actually that they are not ready to accept it कि it can be made in this way also, because they are having that map within themselves कि this is the correct choice and it cannot be made with the different style. I have experienced many ladies in my life, many people I have met, those actually they are having certain way of doing certain things, and they do not even ready to accept that there may be another choice of doing that particular thing. So this is how actually we got programmed, our mind get programmed. So at certain moment of time, this is what this presupposition says, people make the best choices they can at the people work perfectly. No one is wrong or broken. They are carrying out their strategies perfectly. But the strategies may be poorly designed and ineffective. Find out how you and others do what they do, so their strategy can be changed to something more useful and desirable. Again, being a NLP practitioner, whatever client, whatever number of people you are coming in contact with, you always need to understand this proposition that people work perfectly. The way they are working, that way may not be correct for you. It may not be your choice of doing that particular thing in that certain way, but being an NLP practitioner, you need to actually understand it कि whatever they are doing, it's perfect, they are correct. Their strategies may not be, you may say that there may be some pitfall, some drawbacks within whatever strategies they are using, but whatever they are doing, that is perfect. This thing you need to understand. This is a mantra for an NLP practitioner, and that you need to understand. All actions have a purpose. Our actions are not random. We are always trying to achieve something, although we may not be aware of what that is. Now, as I have given you the example of painful memories and the sweet memories, now you can just correlate this presupposition with the same memory example, that our actions are not random, because something is stored, that subconscious is having proof, no, and that is how we are reacting. Our behavior, even though that behavior is not suitable within that certain that situation, but that is what is my experience is, and because of that experience, because of my good or bad memory, I am reacting in certain way, and that is how I got programmed. So again, being an NLP practitioner, you need to understand that all actions have a purpose, that are not without any base. There is some kind of purpose behind that. That is how the clients are behaving in this way. Otherwise, there is nothing that they are not behaving in a correct manner. For them, whatever they are doing is perfect. There is no drawback, there is no problem within their behavior. Move to the next. Every behavior has a positive intention. So, all our actions have at least one purpose to achieve something that we value and benefits us. NLP separates the intention or purpose behind an action from the action itself. A person is not their behavior. When a person has a better choice of behavior that also achieve their positive intention, they will take it. So, every behavior has a positive intention means you should not blame a person as a positive or negative, or the behavior they are doing as a positive or negative, but every behavior is having some kind of positive intention behind that. Now it may hurt you, their behavior, you may not like that, you may not like that behavior, but actually those people who are not behaving in a you may say expected manner, they have faced many problems in their life. Generally, what we give, whatever we are having, means if I am having peace, if I am having happiness in my life, that what I will spread. But if I am hurt, I am very sad, I am very a person who didn't get love, I didn't get cared, in that case, what will be stored in my heart? There will be uh, irritations, that hurts, that pain, the hatred about people. So that are all kind of things must be there, accumulated there in my subconscious, and if that is what is get accumulated at the inner beneath level of my inner mind, so how I will behave in a well behaved manner? Obviously people, I am not having good feeling about people, because I have faced sometime these people have actually given me pain, and that is how I hate people, and that is how I am behaving in certain way. Now you might be getting clear, okay, why always it is says that every behavior has a positive intention, because they don't have any negative intention. What they are doing is actually their programming, and that is how they are also having that positive intention only out of their behavior, though that behavior is not a good kind of behavior by the frame of our society, but actually their intention is exactly correct, they are exactly right, they are having positive intention behind that. you need to understand. Being an NLP practitioner, you need to understand each and every behavior. It's a learning for you. The unconscious mind balances the conscious. It is not malicious. The unconscious is everything that is not in consciousness at the present moment. It contains all the resources we need to live in balance. So, the unconscious mind balances the conscious means what? We are actually controlled by our unconscious mind or subconscious mind. Consciously, we do very less. Consciously, actually, our life handles by subconscious more than 95 to 97%. Only rest remaining is in actually conscious mind can happen. Otherwise, if you'll just see the whole day, whatever activities you are doing, every activity you are doing with your subconscious mind. You are not doing very few activities you are doing consciously, otherwise everything is coming from your unconscious, and that is how, that is kind of balance your subconscious is making on your conscious. Next one, the meaning of the communication is not simply what you intend, but also the response you get. This response may be different to the one you wanted. There are no failures in communication, only responses and feedback. If you are not getting the result you want, change what you are doing. Take responsibility for the communication. So, whatever communication you are doing means whatever response you are getting out of it. So, what you have to do is, if you want to change your results, you need to change your inputs. What you are doing today is not giving you results, so you need to do different things so that you will get different responses, different outcomes. So that is what is the meaning, you may say, this presupposition. Now we will move to next. We already have all the resources we need, or we can create mind. So obviously everyone is having resources. The only thing is we don't see or look toward those kind of options. If you'll try to find the options, you will find out the options. So if there is a will, there is a way. This is what this presupposition says, that resources is not everything. You can create the resources as and when required. So we already have all resources we need, or we can create them. 10th is, mind and body form a system. They are different expressions of the one person. Mind and body interact and mutually influence each other. It is not possible to make a change in one without the other being affected. When we think differently, our bodies change. When we act differently, we change our thoughts and feelings. So, this presupposition says that we are a complete one. We are actually programmed in such a way that whenever we act as in a certain way, that kind of feelings got generated in our whole body. You can also experience it when you wear the best clothes, and you feel that now today you are looking very smart and beautiful, and you went to your you may say office or wherever you would like to go, and many people actually acknowledge you that you are looking nice today, or your dress is wonderful, or this kind of comments you have got. What will happen? Immediately your confidence level get improved, and that day your body language will be very confident. Even people come out of saloon with the great hairstyles and all, you can able to see, acknowledge the change within their body language prior to going inside the saloon, and they walk out from the saloon. So these kind of changes happens. In the same way, it's very important what kind of body language you are having, because that is how your mind will get the actions. Body and mind is connected to each other. It's not go one and one. So obviously if you are having a very confident body language, your brain will remain confident. It will go in a certain direction. And if you will have that kind of not feeling good kind of feeling with you, obviously certain kind of signals will go to your mind, and you will start behaving in that. Next is we process all information through our senses, developing our sense so they become more acute, gives you better information and help you think more clearly. Now there is no another way other than the five senses to take information in. We see with our eyes, and that is how we can able to recognize the things we are watching. We can hear the different sound around us with our ear, and that is how whenever we are able to hear such sound, we can able to identify. This is how actually through all the senses we are receiving information, storing information in the brain, and then whenever the same information repeats, we are again responding in a certain way or identifying that information. So these are the main processes, these are the main you may say characteristics your senses are playing. So what you have to do is you have to train your senses in a specific certain way. If you will train it to work efficiently, the information will get registered more efficiently, and you will acknowledge or you will respond in a more better way whatever is your current state. So you need to actually work on it. Next is modeling successful performance leads to the excellence. If one person can do something, it is possible to model it and teach it to others. In this way, everyone can learn to get better results in their own way. You do not become a clone of model, you learn from them. So now uh, what you can do is you can excellence yourself with the help of modeling. Now modeling means you may just take one person as your inspiration. Now if you would like to achieve what that particular person has achieved, what you have to do, you have to learn what steps they have actually taken to achieve that success, what kind of lifestyle these people have followed, what kind of you may say responses these people have given to certain situation happen in their life, and in that way you can model them. Modeling, actually this is a proven science that if you model certain person, certain behavior, you can able to create those kind of same results. It's a very very effective technique. Modeling is very effective technique in NLP to move toward excellence. Next point, if you want to understand, just act. Learning is in the doing. There is no way of learning something without doing it, because I might have told you that the dictionary of our brain is in the form of pictures. Our subconscious understand conceptual things only. Now if subconscious understand only through you may say processes, through the concepts. So if you are not experiencing, it is very difficult for our subconscious to make the impression of the same. So the most effective way of learning is doing. That is what this